What is up, guys? It's Karsten Craning back again with another video. I'm mindful that I haven't made one of these videos in a while. It's probably been like 6 months. So I have a lot to show. This is just my recent pickups, whether that be clothes, some records, some books, as well as just my favorite movies, TV shows, etc., etc. to catch you up a little bit because it has been quite a while since I made one of these videos. I've gotten a couple of my grails per se, or some items that I've been looking for quite a long time, and I've finally acquired them. Let's just get right into it with outerwear. So this is the first piece I guess I want to show you guys. It has been my grail for quite some time. This is a Comme des Garçons Homme Plus Spring Summer 1999 work jacket from the collection called Hidden Treasure. Hidden Treasure is one of my favorite Comme collections. Just absolutely beautiful. I'd love to make a whole video just analyzing that collection at some point. But what it pretty much is a reversible work jacket. The outside is pretty modest, not a lot going on, but in this beautiful kind of brown, kind of swampy green color. And then when you turn it inside out and wear it reversed, you have these beautiful frills on it and this really unique and beautiful stitching on the collar. It's a jacket all about the details and a lot of interesting meaning behind it. Very cool as you get to see the whole stitching when it's inside out. I prefer to wear it inside out, though the other way is also cool. Yeah, I've been looking for this jacket for a long time. I finally found one in my size and copped it, paid a little bit more for it, but truly is one of those very special pieces to me. All of the clothes in that collection kind of had this motif of being turned inside out, revealing kind of extravagant details that you see here, hence the name Hidden Treasure. So really interesting collection. It's kind of ironic, kind of humorous, but also kind of beautiful at the same time. That's why I love this jacket and can't get enough of it. Moving on, we have a couple of button-up shirts. This one is from Demeulemeester. I'm not sure on the season of it. It's just kind of a regular shirt. It's just a white linen shirt in a very beautiful cream colorway with some very interesting kind of structural choices. It has these pockets and it's a bit more elongated, and it kind of gives off the similar shape to what a lot of Patti Smith was wearing. So you can really see that those details kind of turn this into more than just a regular white shirt. Just the details on it make it really interesting to me, and I've quite enjoyed it as it is just a really nice shirt to wear on its own. Next is this Craig green shirt in this beautiful blue color. Nothing too crazy going on here besides these little detailing kind of tails that you can kind of make the cut just a tad bit different, and they kind of hang out when you're wearing it untucked. It's not an amazingly special shirt, but it is really good for layering, especially with other Craig pieces and maybe some Comme. Found this for a great deal, and getting a piece like this has been great just to have another layering piece with some fun added details. Anything by Craig has great construction, and yeah, that's all I really have to say about this piece. Nothing too crazy going on. Moving along in the tops, we have this hoodie, which I acquired from Marcus a couple of months ago. Marcus, of course, is a store and label based in Portland, and they have a variety of basics, which I have come to love over the past couple of months. Very similar to your dark wear, kind of streetwear aesthetic, but affordable and also very high quality. And so this hoodie I kind of consider my essential kind of basic hoodie, and I'm wearing it a lot. Beautiful brown colorway with some minor distressing on it. Great boxy fit. I wear it a lot, and it's kind of become one of those essential pieces for me. I would 100% recommend picking one of these up, as they are some great hoodies. This has been my Grail for a very long time. This, of course, is a vintage big black shirt. I finally found one after months of searching to find one for a reasonable price. Very iconic. It's very interesting, these shirts. Big Black, of course, is the band fronted by Steve Albini from the 1980s, kind of the noise rock, punk adjacent band. One of the louder, more violent, more abrasive and experimental acts that captured the attention of a lot of the underground scene in the 80s and 90s. So you can actually see a lot of people wearing this particular t-shirt, not this exact t-shirt, but this model, from a lot of different figures in the underground, such as Kim Gordon. Perhaps not as hyped as your Sonic Youth tees or even your Butthole Surfers tees, and not even usually going for that price point, but they tend to be rarer and you can't really find them. So I've been hunting on eBay, Depop, for like the last 6 months to find one of these for a good price. Finally found one, copped it. Came in an extra large, and I wasn't expecting it to fit, but it turned out to fit beautifully in this boxy kind of shape. Probably my favorite t-shirt that I own, just because of all the meaning, its place in the underground, and its rarity just to find one of these. So yeah, definitely an amazing pickup that I'm super happy about. Moving on to pants, we have these cropped Rick dark shadow pants, I would say, maybe jeans. They're 100% cotton. Interesting texture and pattern, got raw hems where they've been cropped, and this really interesting color to it and wash. I believe it may be object dyed. Not 100% sure, but beautiful. I think these are from 09 Strutter, if I'm head to guess. I'm not really sure, it doesn't say within the tag, but they are an older pair. Found these thrifting actually for a very good price, which is always great when you can thrift some Rick, and they fit great, go well with a lot of other Rick pieces I own. Usually I'm not as fond of the cropped pants, as I think they make me look a little weird, and they kind of get me out of my comfort zone. But I have enjoyed these kind of weird object dyed jorts. Next we have some pants that I've shown briefly before. I don't think I showed them on body, but they are these beautiful SK Manor, kind of pajama-y, loungy, big, almost Yoji balloon-esque pants. They remind me a lot of a pair of Craig Green pants that my friend Ezra has from Spring Summer 16 because of the absolutely beautiful pattern on them. These are SK Manor is an independent brand, not as well known. They're known for this. They are known for their sustainability as well as their recycled materials that they use to build their garments. And these pants are not only great quality, they don't just fit great, but they're also sustainable, which is really cool. And I'm in love with how comfortable they are, as well as the texture on them. The texture doesn't necessarily photograph well, so I don't know really how well you guys can see it, but you don't buy clothes so that they will photograph well. You buy them so you can love them and enjoy them, and I've enjoyed these quite a lot in the past couple of months. Moving on, we have another item from Mockus. I also showed these briefly, and they are quite wrinkled because I've worn them so much over the past 6 months. These have probably been my most worn pair of pants. These are these cargo pants from Mockus in this beautiful kind of gray, slate, brownish color. Again, I think they're a great alternative to your Creech cargo or any other cargo pants you're gonna find. The material is really comfortable, kind of stretchy to it. Independent labels, so it's always great to support one of those, and they go great with a lot of the kind of Rick pieces I own, and they go almost too well with a lot of the Rick pieces I own. And I find myself wearing these way too much, but I love them, wear them most days, and yeah, I just can't argue with these pants, and I couldn't encourage you guys anymore. These might be the best pair of pants I've owned, which is a broad statement, but in the last 6 months, the amount of wear and tear they've gone through, held up, and just I can keep wearing them has been great. On to my probably second most worn pair of pants from the last 6 months are just these simple Levi 501s. I love the way they fit. I've gotten my wear out of them, really enjoyed them. They're in this great kind of washed gray color. Perhaps not the most expensive or rare item that I'm talking about today, but at the end of the day, if you wear something, you love it, and it becomes an essential for you, who cares? And these have been one of my favorite pairs of pants. The fit, the wash, everything about them is great, and I can't recommend these to you guys enough either. Moving on to shoes. I picked up another pair of Rick Owens Ramones, this time in the sock variant. These have been very used, and I got them for very cheap. However, you can't argue with that, and they're still holding up well. Worn these a lot over the past couple of months, and I love these. They're just amazing. They're a bit more silly, a bit more exaggerated, a bit harder to wear, but there's something very cool, I guess, about that challenge of coming up with fits with these. But yeah, these are not the leather, these are the waxed canvas or denim. Fit me great. Besides a bunch of wear and tear that I've gotten out of them and the previous owner, I've loved these, and they've been a shoe that I just is a great go-to. So, finishing off the kind of clothes, accessory stuff with a couple of miscellaneous items, I suppose. First is this hat. It is a trucker hat from No Maintenance. No Maintenance is not only a brand that has great accessories, but also supplies vintage. They're LA based, from my friend Ro. This has been one of my favorite hats over the past couple of months. I've worn it almost every time. If I had to recommend any hat to you guys, it would be this one. Next, we have some Silver League soap that I've gotten. This is some charcoal soap from the boy, Fernando Rangel. Thank you for this. Gotten some good use out of it. Charcoal, eucalyptus, absolutely great. As far as soap goes, I'm happy with it, and I would recommend it to anybody else if you're looking for, I suppose, a more esoteric soap than you would get at Target or something. Moving on to more homeware, kind of personal care items, we have Concrete by Comme des Garçons. Comme des Garçons, of course, makes wonderful fragrances, and Concrete would be my favorite. I've worn this a lot, I guess, as far as the scent goes. It's very unique. You can only really truly smell it to understand it, I think. So if you ever find yourself in a retailer that carries some Concrete, I would recommend smelling it, maybe picking it up. My favorite of all time fragrance right here, and I can't recommend it enough. From here, I'd like to move on to a couple of books I've picked up recently, read, starting off with The Blood Oranges by John Hawkes. This is an interesting kind of existential combination of poetry and literature. It's kind of has themes similar to that of Soren Kierkegaard, where a lot of it is kind of talking about like monogamy and like what that means. Got this from Francis as he sent me a couple of books recently, and this was in it just as a gift, and I've really enjoyed this. Moving on, we have Steppenwolf by Hermann Hesse. This book really follows the main character Henry, as he kind of has this idea of having a wolf war inside him that kind of controls his more primal desires, and I guess he kind of tries to control that wolf, and it kind of gets to a climax where he tries to figure out, you know, what to do about that on his 49th birthday. I don't want to spoil it for you guys, but I would recommend this book. I think it's interesting. Rolshog by Hermann Hesse. Less known than Steppenwolf, but I actually quite liked this book a lot better than Steppenwolf. It kind of follows this painter, his estranged wife, and their son, who somewhat brings them together in a way. But yeah, honestly, I enjoyed this a lot better than Steppenwolf, which is very odd because it's not how it usually goes for people. But I would recommend this book. I think it's a little bit more relatable and tame to a degree. Next, I have a good amount of records. Some were given to me for my birthday a couple of months back from my friends, so thank you Olivia, Andrew, Soren, Steven for all of these and letting me pick out a couple of records. So first we have The Future of What by Unwound. Unwound, of course, is a post-hardcore band in a similar kind of, in that similar scene to Slint or Polvo, a little bit more post-hardcore. Love this record. I hadn't actually heard it when I got it, and it was really exciting to kind of hear it for the first time. Unwound's discography is great. If you want to get into Unwound, this is also great, but amazing record. Moving on, because I have a lot, unfortunately. Sonic Youth, Confusion is Sex. This is one of their first Sonic Youth records. When you compare it to the rest of Sonic Youth's discography, this is definitely more avant-garde and is when they were in the no-wave scene. It's a lot more harsh than your other Sonic Youth records, which will be a little bit more digestible and a bit more on the alternative kind of, more into the alternative scene than this, but I enjoy it quite a lot. Next is this bootleg of sorts called Warsaw, but it is the early work of Joy Division, pretty much. They were first called Warsaw, hence the title. So this is all of Joy Division or Warsaw's music before they were called Joy Division. Moving on is possibly my favorite record that I've gotten and my favorite of all time, Slint, Spiderland. God, I love this record. I've listened to it so much, especially in the past couple of weeks. Slint is a post-hardcore, math rock, noise rock band. I would love to make a whole video on Slint at some point, but yeah, you definitely should check this record out. Less extreme, abrasive music to play on the record. I decided to pick something up that I thought would be good, and that was The Glow Part 2. And last but not least, we have Black Country, New Road, their first record for the first time. Been an incredible fan of this band for almost 2 years now. If you haven't heard it, definitely go check it out. They're an amazing math, jazz, avant-garde, but also quite listenable. So I definitely go check this out, and I'm so happy to finally get it, as I love this band. And yeah. And I guess here are some movies and TV shows I've watched recently. I haven't watched a lot. However, the first thing I guess I would want to talk about is a TV show which I am extremely late to. I think this came out in 2018. That's when there was a lot of hype around it. However, I just kind of came across it on Netflix. It is called The Haunting of Hill House, which is a TV show about a family who kind of goes through a a haunted house, a paranormal experience, and they have all this trauma from that haunted house. And if you haven't seen it, I would check it out. I think that's really all I have as far as recommendations. So I guess I'll leave you guys off with a few songs, and from there we'll be good. So thank you so much, and my name is Karsten Craning, and please subscribe, like, and hear a couple of songs.
Inferno then. your love is, baby.
Whole lot of mob shit, whole lot of mob shit.